My friends, there's a farm bill before Congress today that increases the subsidies, that gives some of your tax dollars to agriculture, people in agriculture that make as much as $950,000 a year. That subsidizes ethanol, which has distorted the market, which has then driven up food prices. And it is a continuation, in all due respects, of business as usual in Washington, which has to change. I went to Iowa and campaigned in Iowa, and I said I was against ethanol subsidies, and I was against the tariffs on imported ethanol from Brazil, which is made from sugarcane, because it distorts the market. My friends, I commit to the agriculture community in America. I will open every market in the world to the most productive and best worker and the best agricultural products ever produced, but I will not support these subsidies, and they've got to stop. There's too many Americans that need our help now.
Thank you very much, Senator, for coming to talk to us. I think you've been a real role model, and I can say personally you've been a role model in my own political career, so thank you. My question...
You a vegetarian?
No. I'm more like a carnivore. All I eat is meat. But my question involves the military.
Yes, sir.
We have a very strong military and a professional military. However, there's things that I hear from some of my friends that are discouraging with training standards. A lot of the guys going back to the bases to train our guys are guys who have gotten lower performance ratings, guys who are ready to retirement, and the quality of training is not there. Moreover, we have, in some cases, we have, I think, an issue with a lot of our defense contracts are provided by companies that are owned by foreign powers. Could you talk a little bit about that and the importance of maintaining training standards in our military?
Yeah, on the issue of us buying defense equipment from corporations that are based overseas, our export of and sale of military equipment is 4 or 5 times that of the amount that we import and that we pay for from overseas. So there's a huge differential there. And so I worry that if we shut off any purchases from overseas corporations, then they would retaliate by not purchasing ours. And it has been helping our military sales overseas have helped in reducing the obscene trade deficit. We haven't even talked about oil today. Half of our trade deficit today is because of imported oil, my friends. We'll be talking a lot about energy in the future. I worry about our military, and I know you expressed many of the concerns we have. My friends, our military is overstressed. Our military has been carrying out missions in a way that's almost unprecedented. And the Colorado Guard and Reserve has been magnificent, but also many mistakes that we made in the end of the Clinton administration and in this administration because we did not expand the size of the military. The Army and Marine Corps are 1/3 smaller than they were at the time of the first Gulf War. 1/3 smaller. And we're in 2 wars. We all know that. We're in 2 wars. All of us know it all too well. So we need to increase the size of our military. Personnel costs are the most expensive part of a military establishment when you are in an all-volunteer force. But we have to provide the benefits and the incentives for young Americans to serve. And that, of course, one of those is educational benefits. Senator Webb has a proposal. Some of us have a proposal. We're in agreement in principle. I hope we will work it out between us, and I think we can, to increase the educational benefits for young Americans who are willing to serve their country. They serve out of patriotism. They serve out for a variety of reasons. We're a country of 300 million people, and we should be able to attract the highest quality young Americans to serve, and that's got to be our mission, and we have to increase the size of the military with the first priority going to the Marines and the Army. And I think one of our questioners here who previously served in the Army would recall, and some of you will, there was a period in the 70s and 80s when we had a mass exodus of pilots out of the Navy and Air Force, including Marine Corps. They were all leaving to go be pilots for the airlines. They had a better deal, there was more money to be made, etc., etc. So what did we do? We decided to pay big bonuses to pilots to remain as pilots in the military. So, obviously, we appealed to their patriotism, but we also appealed to their pocketbook. We've got to appeal to young Americans' patriotism to serve and to remain in the military, but we also have to give them the kind of rewards and benefits that they should be able to look forward to for that service. So I worry about the strain on the military, and also, of course, all of us are appalled and angered at that picture of the barracks at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where the Fort Bragg thing is just. So we've asked the Secretary of Defense to examine and inspect every barracks in America, no matter what branch of the service, and give us a report as to what barracks are needed to be fixed or where conditions of substandard remain. Some of the barracks that our military is residing in today go back to the Korean War. That was the pictures that you saw. That's not acceptable in America. Yes, ma'am.
Senator McCain, my question is in regards to Iran and the nuclear reactor and what that means to us as Americans and what it means to our staunch ally in the Middle East, Israel. If you were President of the United States, how would you see that we should be dealing with Iran on this issue?
I say I will continue to keep the commitment that I've had for many, many years. I will do whatever is necessary to preserve the independence and freedom of the State of Israel, our staunchest ally. Without fail, and without faltering, and without changing. I have been to Israel on many occasions. I know their leaders, and I've met with them as recently as just a short time ago. I also went to a town in southern Israel called Sherot, proper pronunciation, Sharat. I was right the first time. Sederot. It's spelled very differently than it sounds. That doesn't change the fact that I went to Sederot and I saw a town, thousands of people living in it, where the children have a 15-second warning to get to a shelter because of incoming fire from Gaza. Now that's not acceptable. People should not live under those conditions. And we have a terrorist organization called Hamas, as you know, that controls Gaza. But on the issue of Iran, as briefly as possible, at the beginning and end of our conversation, I will say we cannot allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Having said that, I would point out that not only do the Iranians that are acquiring nuclear weapons, they are supporting terrorist organizations. They have had enormous influence in southern Iraq as well as other parts of Iraq by supporting these jihadist militias. They are exporting the most lethal explosive devices into Iraq from Iran that are built in Iran, which are killing young Americans. And obviously they are trying to exert an age-old ambition of Persian influence in the Middle East. So it's not a new ambition.